Devy Degens, welcome back to another episode. I am S. Romero with my co-host here, Tom Harvey. We are here today to bring you some Big 12 breakouts. So these are some guys you might want to buy before they break out and they're too high for you to even acquire. We're going to talk about these Big 12 athletes right after the intro.
Breaking down the hate, man, we call it like we see it. Finding all the gems while the rest just sleeping. Freshmen to the league, we ahead of the curve. Picking out the next star, put them on the reserve. From the big time schools to the deep cut finds. Gotta know who's next when it's draft day time. Stock rising, playmaking, watch them ball out. Devy Degens, yeah, no doubt. Yo, it's time to talk the future Devy style. Prospects rising, diamonds shining. Only the real ones grinding. Welcome to the Devy Degens, let's go. Let's go.
Prospects rising. Gotta find out who the next in line. Tommy, how are you doing today?
No, man, doing all right. How's everything going on your side of the world?
Good, man. Good. It is on my side because we're East Coast, West Coast. So yeah, no, everything's going well, man. Good money in the bank. Kind of disappointed that Jacob Fatu turned on solo. Roy loved it. Jamie, thanks for joining in. I knew it was coming, but at the same time, man, I'm really sorry. I love solo, so that was kind of like, damn, they didn't want to see that happen there, but it is what it is.
They really need to start turning Solo back into a more serious character. I mean, he was the enforcer of the bloodline. Now he's just treated like a clown.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I love that you said that because speaking about like seriousness, they got to turn it around, make it serious. That's kind of what the Big 12 is now, right? I mean, no disrespect to Big 12, but when we think about the Power Four, I feel the Big 12 is the clown of the Power Four in a sense, right?
It's the fourth conference, right?
Exactly. And it's just like you're the least, of the four, and but with that, there are still talent there. There is still talent there. Excuse me, and that's really what we're coming in today, talking about the Big 12. We'll give you some of our rankings, and we're gonna give you a little bit of this or that on some guys. But really, we're gonna talk about some breakout candidates, some guys that you might want to try to acquire because they may break out. Now, we could go into are these really Devy assets? Are they more C2C assets? Either way, these are guys that you should have on your radar because they are due for a big season, and it could possibly happen there. Dude, James says, so glad R-Truth is going to get a title run. I don't know about all that.
Let's call him by his proper name. His name is Ron Killings now.
There you go, Ron Killings. It was pretty nice that he came in and did the whole belt thing with them. Someone posted a picture of The Rock's mom in the crowd, and I was like, oh, the final boss is about to be there, but he did not show up. So either way, Money in the Bank, for people that don't know, it's the winner of the ladder matches get a title shot. And really, this is the Big 12. Like, they need to get a title shot. They need to get stuff going. Arizona State had that opportunity, and they missed it. So now we're going to talk about some players that may lead their team over to it. But, within the Big 12, they just need to win their conference, really, to get a playoff bid. And if you're talking about the SEC or the Big 10 or even the ACC, might be a little bit easier to win the conference in the Big 12 than it is in those other ones. So these guys really need to step up and really break out as we think so as well. Let's start with a little bit of this or that. I'm going to start off here for you, Tommy. Would you rather have Connor Wyman at University of Houston or Rocco Beck at Iowa State?
Now, that's an easy one for me. I'm taking Weigman all day here. I don't see a pro prospect in Rocco Beck at all.
Okay.
He's a decent enough college quarterback. I just don't see the tools translating to the NFL. Whereas Weigman, if the guy could stay healthy, he's got everything you want.
Right. He saw that, we did have him at A&M there, right? And it just didn't pan out. Marshall Reed came in and did some good things, and Weigman ended up going to University of Houston. Benefit is we've seen in the past University of Houston really light it up with their quarterbacks and giving them some offense. I would say offensive weapons, but just some offensive play schemes to say, hey, go out there and showcase your arm and just, get it down the field. So this is an opportunity for Weigman to really step in and say, all right, let me go put it on the map. He's staying in Texas, so that's nothing new. So, it's a little bit better opportunity for him, in my opinion.
And if he doesn't get it done this year, guess what? Houston's got a big time 5-star quarterback coming in next year. So
Exactly. And this is really his time to shine because Wegby, like he is eligible, if I'm not mistaken, for this year.
he is.
So
Yeah.
if he can at least, I wouldn't say he would have to do a heck of a lot to become a day 2 prospect, but if he has a great season, he then becomes an NFL prospect in the sense of day 3 potentially, and back up and work his way up. So there are some things that I would also choose Wegby. Rocco Beck was a benefit of having 2 great wide receivers last year. He is getting one this year that we'll talk about later, but still, I agree with you. I don't see him as a pro prospect. Great college quarterback, one that you could have on C2C and help you win, but I don't know about Devy prospect. He's falling off my board. He's not 5-round draft. I'd even think about him. So There you go. Who do you have as a this or that?
I got a couple wide receivers here. Wide receiver out of Colorado, Draylon Miller, or out of Texas Tech, Caleb Douglas.
So I think this is, when you think about these two, you either want speed or you want power, in my opinion, when you're looking at these two. Draylon Miller brings that speed. He's very elusive, very energetic in the field, in the open field. Caleb Douglas is a big wide receiver out of Tech. And for me, he's a potential breakout candidate to have something big. I want to say Caleb Douglas, man, but Texas Tech always kind of disappoints. So I'll lean with Draylon Miller. We saw a little bit of flashes of Draylon last year, and Draylon can do some big things here this year as well. So I think this is an opportunity for him to shine. No Travis Hunter. And really, with Travis Hunter being gone, it's wide open for the wide receiver 1 spot. Travis Hunter really took that over. It was nowhere close in Colorado. So this is an opportunity for Draylon to really showcase his talent and go out there and say, hey, I'm not Travis Hunter, but I can be a top target for Colorado. So I would go ahead and choose him. Would you agree?
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of Deebo Samuel. Just kind of that kind of powerful, very well built type of guy. Kind of a gadget type of wide receiver.
Yeah.
Whereas Caleb Douglas, like you kind of hit the nail on the head right there. Big guy, 6'4", 210. Definitely plays more of the bully ball type of wide receiver. I just think the NFL likes those type of gadget guys like a Draylon Miller. So I would kind of lean that way, honestly. That, and with Caleb Douglas, he's going to have to put up a big time season this year. He does. People forget because he's kind of bounced around a little bit lately. But Micah Hudson is back there in Lubbock, so.
I forgot about that. But that's great.
Yeah.
But
so I mean that could affect Douglas. We'll see. But
Micah Hudson, he has the talent, all the talent in the world. Arguably a very high prospect. Thing is, he just needs to get right. Mental health is real. If you have struggle with mental health, please, know there are people out there. Reach out to any of us. We're here, but at the same time, understand these athletes that have this stardom to their name also go through it. And so if they are battling, we definitely wish them all the best, because we ultimately want to see them on the field, because we understand you are talented in that. But at the same time, make sure your mind's right. Make sure you're doing that kind of stuff right as well, because that is a big part in it too, to just, go out there and be great, right? So Hudson there, that's a problem. Caleb Douglas is really great, as in a problem for Caleb Douglas. He is really great. Like you said, big body, can make some big things happen. So those were 2 wide receivers there. Going to running backs, though, would you rather have Jaheim White out of West Virginia or Dylan Edwards out of Kansas State?
For me, it's Jaheim White. Dylan Edwards is tiny, man. What is he, about 170 pounds? He's just a small dude, and at running back that doesn't really work, especially when you're looking at the NFL. He is. Deuce Vaughn. Yeah, Deuce Vaughn was great at Kansas State, and he's just way too tiny. Yeah. And Dylan Edwards isn't any bigger than that. So, for me, it's Jaheim White.
Now, this would be, Devy, would you consider Dylan Edwards in C2C?
Yeah, because CFF wise, he's going to put up production.
Yeah,
he's just, to me, he's not a Devy asset.
Right, and I'm glad we're talking about this part, because I agree. As far as Devy asset, Jaheim White, still a later round prospect that I would take, but a little bit bigger. Kind of reminds you of James White. Not to do a thing on their name, but James White, similar type of player, right? Just a good receiving back, good all around back that can get it done. Not your typical every down back or your workhorse type, but still an all around back that he's kind of there and he's getting production. And then Edwards, though, he's not Darren Sproles. Could he be? Sure. But as a C2C or a CFF league, 100% Dylan Edwards is going to put up production. They lost DJ Giddens. This is an open room potentially for him. And he does have the skill set to be a great college football player. And I think a lot of times in general, we get lost in that mindset of our Devy assets are great at college football. And we don't think about, okay, but what's their pro potential, right? We're just thinking they're going to be great at the game that they're playing. I would say people might hate me on this, but Carson Beck, I think he'd be a good college football player, but I don't know if he's going to translate over to the pros as far as a starter.
See, I actually think the opposite. I think Carson Beck has struggled in college, but I think he's going to be a really good pro.
And that happens too. And that's something too, where it's like you see the fundamentals there, and maybe they're not doing it at college, but if they get that pro opportunity, they can go out there and light it up. So that's also why it comes into it. Watching the film, understanding the difference between your Devy and your C2C. Now, when we're talking about Devy, we're talking about prospects that just look great to us and have pro potential, and that's why we come in and bring it in. Now, the C2C line, it's everyone in college, and we could talk about multiple players saying, hey, these are great players to have on your team. Doesn't necessarily mean they'll translate over well to that pro side, though, as well. But speaking of that, that was our this or that. As you know, this week we're going to be talking about the Big 12 and our breakout candidates, players you should probably buy before that breakout happens. So before we get into it, we're going to talk about our quarterbacks here. To start off, we'll give you our rankings, and then we'll talk about our breakouts here. But first, I'm going to give you my rankings in the Big 12 here. Come down to Arizona State, Sam Levitt. Then we have Colorado's Caden Salter. And then it really comes down to Kansas State's quarterback, Avery Johnson. He's a little bit undersized. He does have a lot of rushing mobility, which I like. So I can understand some different positions there. But who are your top three as far as the position?
Right at the top, we totally agree. I've got Sam Levitt right there at the QB1 spot. But my QB2 in the as far as Devy goes for the Big 12 is Sawyer Robertson out of Baylor. You look at the size, you look at the arm talent there. I think the guy's got everything you want. Problem is he plays at Baylor and nobody pays attention to it. Go watch the guy play, you'll understand. And then my QB3 is Connor Wigman. Kind of like I said earlier, if the guy could stay healthy, he's got everything the NFL wants as far as talent goes. He's fairly mobile himself, and he's got plenty of arm talent. He's got plenty of juice there.
Yeah. Speaking of Wegman, that's a great segue into my breakout candidate because it is none other than Houston's own Connor Wegman there, right? So throw up the H's for my guys. I'm originally from Houston. We got the, World Series right there for the Astros. We love Houston, everything about Houston. But Wegman has a great opportunity in front of him. Again, struggled at A&M. Health didn't look great as much. You brought up the arm talent. There were some throws that got away from him. This is opportunity to reset. A lot of times when these people transfer, it's not to get a better opportunity. It's just to get a reset and say, hey, I still got it. I think that's kind of what it is for Wegman right now, to kind of reset. I don't want to say this about Big 12, but we're going to end up saying it. It's kind of, it sets a little bit slower. You can slow the game down a little bit more than you would in the SEC, right? We talk about all the time. We can have a full 10-round, 12-round, 30-round draft of just SEC players, to be honest. And with the Big 12, you can nitpick as you will. Here's the opportunity to really understand the game, break it back down a little bit, get focused, stay comfortable in the pocket as he does when he is good, and really make those throws. His mobility, he can't do it. That's not something that attracts me to his game because you can really argue a lot of quarterbacks have that, but I mean, some are definitely better than others. He does have that mobility, but it's really his arm that makes his difference. And again, University of Houston knows how to utilize that, and they want to get the ball down the field in quick bunches. That's where Wegman can come in and really showcase that ability to make those deep passes and make it happen. So I'd be excited to see what he can do for the team there and really what he's going to do for U of H. This is a great opportunity for him. So I think he's a breakout. You have him as your QB3 of the Big 12. That's great because I think right now he's lower than on consensus than that. So this is a great opportunity to go in there and buy him because if he is what you're saying, right now, you could get him at a cost that's not a QB3 in the conference and still have a great production there.
Yeah, the talent's there. And let's just be real here. Nothing has worked out for anybody at Texas A&M over the last several years. So it's probably a good thing he got out of there, and it gets to go to a really offensive program.
Right.
Houston likes to play offense. They can't play any defense, but they like to play offense.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, what Big 12 teams really do play a lot of good defense nowadays.
That's right.
So, who's your breakout candidate here, though?
My breakout candidate is Cincinnati's Brendan Sorsby. Really big frame, really nice runner for the quarterback position. Nice big arm. He needs to get a little bit more accurate, but he does throw a nice ball.
No, I agree. Sorsby is someone that's really good. I think Sorsby can really do some big things for them as well. He looked great last year. He has nice deep ball. He has a little bit more precision to his throws than what Weigman has. A little bit more zip on his throws, in my opinion. You think about Desmond Ridder when he was there. Sorsby, in a sense, it's a little bit better with the throws, a little bit more on the spiral.
Sorsby's better than Ridder.
And I think that's where it's going to be. I just got something here. Yeah, I think that's going to be a big part for him on what he can do, and that's going to be huge for him, especially with the mobility, as you mentioned. That's going to be something great for him moving down the line and what he's going to be able to do. Cincinnati, a lot of times you see them more as a running team, but Sorsby someone that could go out there and make some big plays for them as well. So he can definitely lead them to a Big 12 championship, I believe. He's one of your more confident quarterbacks, in my opinion, when we talk about this conference in general. So I absolutely love that Sorsby there. So great pick there. But now we're talking about other ones. We're going to go into our running backs. And Tommy, I'm going to let you start off with your consensus top 3 running backs here in the Big 12. Who do you got?
Yeah, my top 3 running backs here are Quentin Joyner out of Texas Tech.
Okay.
He steps into that Taj Brooks role there. And actually, I think Quentin Joyner is a much more rounded running back than what Taj Brooks was.
Right.
And my number 2 is LJ Martin out of Baylor, or not out of Baylor, out of BYU.
Right.
He's got tremendous size, great toughness, plenty of strength up the middle. He's a pounder. That's just what LJ Martin is. He can also catch the ball pretty well. He made a really nice grab in the end zone last year. And then my RB3 is just mentioned Baylor. It's Bryson Washington. There
you go. Absolutely love that. Bryson Washington, a good guy to go out there and know who they are and what they can do there for them. Definitely going to bring some big plays for Baylor in general overall. I mean, he's a great running back there. Quentin Joyner, absolutely loving LJ Martin, great pick there. We actually, looking at it, we had two go. Well, Quentin Joyner, we're both on the same page. I mean, I absolutely love Joyner at USC. I think he could more pay attention to their what is Jamie saying here? Why don't more people pay attention to these players for fantasy football futures?
Because most people are only worried about what the next draft class looks like, and they don't. Devy is a niche. It's very much a niche area right now. Not a whole lot of people are playing it. More people need to be playing it. If they were, then they would know. Then they would start to understand who a lot of these guys are.
Well said. Well said. I agree. I think a lot of times, I mean, you play Dynasty, a lot of people are focused on this next class of rookies instead of the future. And that's where you see guys willing to trade over 2-year picks or anything like that because they're not paying attention to that. And I get a lot of stuff can happen, a lot of stuff could go wrong, but yet you still want to make sure, hey, we're making some big moves to make sure we get our guys in the future. And that's why it is important to watch these films. Transfers happen all the time. A lot of these guys end up transferring up or to different schools and they ball out, and yet you knew they had that opportunity. They just didn't get it at their former school. Big 12, again, I think has fallen off. A lot of players are not really paying attention to the Big 12 simply because it's not what it was back in 06, 05 when you had Vince Younglee and UT, when you had Oklahoma and A&M doing great games, or Johnny Manziel and things of that nature to really go ahead and do some big things. So everyone has to watch it. The Big 12 is
Johnny
still
played
a great
in the
conference.
SEC. Johnny
was
played
he?
in the SEC, yeah.
Was A&M there? I know A&M was there a little bit more. So either way, still you gotta watch them. I mean, they had great, the Red River rivalry there and stuff like that. So there are some opportunities there. You just have to be aware of what's going on with them as well. My three, as I mentioned, Joyner, we have the same. I have Bryson Washington at 2 from Baylor. They have Kanye Udo. I know that's a guy we talked about before. Udo out of Arizona State just has opportunity in front of him transferring from Army. Really can't do a big thing. The difference is he's not going to be Cam Scatterboo. And so hopefully they don't lean on him like Scatterboo because I don't think he's that type of back to have that kind of lineage on him, but still a good back overall, I believe. Speaking of that, I know you have a breakout you want to talk about when I bring up Udo. So talk about your breakout.
Yeah, you bring up Udo. I don't think Udo is going to be the RB1 there at Arizona State this year. I do like Udo. I think he's got a lot of talent, but he's not going to be the guy this year. I don't think. I think the Arizona State guy, which is going to be my breakout guy, is Kyson Brown. He was the RB2 behind Scatterboo last year. Played really well when he got in the games. And I think this is his time.
Okay. No, I absolutely love it. I think that's going to be an opportunity where, again, the workhorse type of back isn't really what we're going to see in them as far as what Udo can do, right? So this is going to be an interesting opportunity for both of them to do some big plays and make some big things happen because they will necessarily need that. Udo look great. So does your guy as well when we're talking about Kyson Brown. So it's really going to be, they may need a lead on both of them just to have that kind of similarity on what Scatterboo did for them in the backfield as well. Mine, as we talked about before, is Kansas State's Dylan Edwards. Again, a guy that he's not going to be your 3-down back, but he was my breakout candidate already. I said he's going to lead the SEC in the Big 12 in all-purpose yards, simply because he could be a pass catcher, he could be a special teams, he could be a running back out the backfield. His size alone for college football looks amazing. And that's where I think he could really benefit at that next level to just go out there and explode as well. So I'm excited to see what he can do. Is he the RB1 for the team? I don't know, but I think he's going to be the most used RB of the team there.
Didn't they just bring in a transfer?
Kansas State?
Yeah.
Potentially. Let's double check that. Kansas State transfers. Let's double check. The transfer portal is crazy nowadays. Let's see. So I don't even know because that could be something major.
They brought in Gabe Irvin from Nebraska.
Not too worried about that.
Yeah.
I think that's still going to be something big for, again, I think Edwards can go out there and do some big things for them and make some big plays for him as well. So not too worried about that there. Now, the wide receivers, the running backs and the quarterbacks, those guys I do enjoy. When it comes to Devy, though, we're going to talk about guys that are our safest bets when you're picking them. And I would say the wide receivers are your safest when it comes down to it. So our wide receivers, let's go ahead and give you our consensus here. Let me pull it up here. My top 3 is Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. And then we have Jace Brown out of Kansas State. But then we have Chase Roberts out of BYU. Talk to us about your top 3.
Yeah, my top 3, very similar at the top. Jordan Tyson, the clear wide receiver 1 there in the Big 12. My wide receiver 2 is Micah Hudson. Mentioned him earlier. The talent is undeniable. He just kind of has to get his head straight. He was at Texas Tech last year as a true freshman. In the offseason, he decided to hit the portal, went to Texas A&M, and then immediately transferred back to Texas Tech. I think there was a reason for that. I think he's about to have a big season there. And then my wide receiver 3 is Chase Roberts out of BYU. Good size. We've seen those BYU wide receivers really step in and play well. I mean, everybody knows Puka Nacua. Chase Roberts is probably going to be pretty similar to what he does.
I didn't want to say that myself, but when we're talking about breakouts, that's my guy. I've been watching a lot of film on Chase Roberts. Puka Nacua, I mean, we want to hope. But I do love the way this kid runs his routes. I do love everything I see about Chase Roberts. He has reliable hands. He's going to be a go-getter type of wide receiver. He might be a day 3 prospect. He could move into day 2. I really think he could be a back-end day 2 prospect. Chase Roberts reminds me a lot of Kevin Walter. Just the way he moves in his routes, really nice and smooth. The way he gets open and beats the defenders down the field. The way he catches the balls all the way down the field. I absolutely love everything you say. I know I have Tyson and Chase Brown. Chase Roberts, in my previous show that I talked about him, I said I was too low on him, so I moved him up. and that's why he's at number 3 now. Jordan Tyson, Chase Brown, a little bit more fluid. I don't see them having breakouts necessarily. Where Chase Roberts, I think he could really take it by storm and really show the nation, hey, this is what I'm all about. So I think he's going to be great.
Yeah, he has elite prototypical size too. I mean,
Yeah.
6'4", 210. I mean,
Yep.
big guy,
And-
big wide receiver.
And he's not like typically when you see those type of guys, you think just a field stretcher, right? Someone just goes downfield and catches and bodies guys. He's not that type of wide receiver. He has a big body, but he's the type of wide receiver that can run up the middle. Really, he can play in the slot and still be effective. So that's why I love him, because he's not your typical 6'4", 220-230 type of wide receiver. He's actually a pretty good one that can move around and make some defenders miss in the open space as well. Well, what about your guy? Who's your breakout wide receiver?
My breakout guy is a transfer into Iowa State. Chase Sowell played at East Carolina last season.
Yep.
Iowa State likes those big tough wide receivers like Jaden Higgins. Sowell is gonna step into that Jaden Higgins role. So really watch out for him.
I absolutely love Sowell. I had him in a lot of leagues already, so I would have talked about him just being at East Carolina. So the fact that he's transferring now to Iowa State, you brought in Jaden Higgins. I didn't say it, but you said it. I agree. I think this time last year, no one's talking about Jaden Higgins. Guess what? No one's talking about Chase Sewell. We are. No one else is. He can have that trajectory of being a Jaden Higgins type of player. So all these people are like, Jaden Higgins in the second round. I'm drafting Jaden Higgins by 208, 209, whatever it is in your drafts. Chase Sewell might have that type of potential where you want to keep an eye on him and say, hey, I was first to it, because he has an opportunity. He did great at East Carolina. Now he's going to be able to show it a little bit more and what he can do on a Big 12 type of stage at Iowa State, and really filling in for a player that just left. Same kind of size, same kind of style, can go out there and do it better. In my opinion, I think he's a better catcher than Higgins. Higgins a little bit faster, but I do think he's a better catcher as far as using his body, using his frame to go up there and get it and really be a big-time type of weapon for them as well. So I absolutely love Chase Sewell. I think he's going to be great. And we talked about Rocco Beck earlier. I mean, he's going to be happy that he's getting a similar player that he just left one of his top receivers. Well, guess what? He's getting a guy that's going to be like his top receiver never left, in my opinion.
Yep.
There. So I absolutely love that there. But as you all know, we always do our breakouts, but we're also doing I'll say it froze there a little bit. I apologize. But our mock draft alert, as you know, every episode we're going to give you a mock draft. It's the first round mock draft. Whatever episode we're talking about, whether it be wide receivers, running backs, in this case, the Big 12, a Big 12 only mock draft. So today's mock draft, my number one over here for Arizona State is Jordan Tyson. I think if you're talking Big 12, he's probably the top prospect you're thinking about, top prospect you're looking at. Again, wide receivers are the safest bet, so you're going to go with him. My number two, I'm going to say Sam Levitt. I think Sam Levitt could go out there and do some great things, but a lot of that is going to be simply because he has a top wide receiver in, Jordan Tyson. Then we're going to go Texas Tech, Quentin Joyner at 103. I liked what he did at USC. I thought he should have been the main back at USC. Woody Marks had a little bit better in the pass catching opportunity, so he got more work there. But Quentin Joyner is going to be nice. Charles Brooks just left. Charles Brooks was a workhorse for them. Quentin Joyner could be that as well. Number 4, Jace Brown at Kansas State. Really, really slick in the routes, really sharp with his routes running, reliable hands as well. Number 5, Chase Roberts. Again, I felt I was too low on him. I'm steadily moving them up further and further up my ranks. He's number 5 when it comes to the Big 12 in the mock draft here. Number 6, I have Caden Salter at Colorado. Will he start? I think that's the question overall, if Caden Salter will start. Excuse me. As I sneeze there. But I think Caden Salter will start, and hopefully he goes back to his 2023 season, I think is what it was, because last year was miserable, and last year I don't want it to be that. If he's his 2023 self, watch out, Colorado is going to be something special. Number 7, Bryson Washington out of Baylor. I think that's a great running back to have, great running back to own. He's going to do some good things. Also on the pro level, he has some good size with him as well. 8, we talked about him, Caleb Douglas out of Texas Tech. Big body wide receiver, strong, knows how to use his hands, great catch radius, could do some big things. He's, really going to be a flyer when it comes to the wide receivers and someone you want to grab. Number 9, Kanye Udo. You brought up your guy, Kyson Brown, really coming in. I think Kanye Udo coming from Army, he's going to take an opportunity and get there as well. Number 10, Iowa State, Chase Sewell. We just talked about him. I think he's a great prospect to have and really someone that I can see moving up my ranks as well. Number 11, I have Avery Johnson there out of Kansas State. And number 12, out of Iowa State, Abu Sama, their running back. Someone I was really high on last year that didn't really pan out. I'm still high on him. I think he has the great size, great opportunity to be a lead back. I just want to see a little bit more on him. What are your thoughts on my mock draft there? Thanks, Jamie.
I mean, it's fine. I think Abu Sama's cooked. I mean, he's not even the best running back on his team.
Fair.
And I think Caden Salter has ability. Again, if you're looking at what he did last year, though, he's not an NFL prospect with what he did last year. I do like his ability, but he's got to put it together a little bit better than that. And then I like everybody else who's on that list. I do like Avery Johnson. I want to see a little bit more out of the passing game from him. I think he's, I don't want to say he's a one-trick pony, but he's kind of proven that's kind of what he is, with the running. I'd like to see a lot more out of the passing game with him. And that would also benefit Jace Brown also. So,
yeah,
I mean, that would be nice. I do like Kanye Udo. I probably wouldn't have him up this high as of right now, just because I think he needs to prove it a little bit more, especially with probably going to, he's probably going to be the RB2 there this year behind Kyson Brown. But, projecting, I do like Udo. He's never been, he obviously hasn't been able to prove himself as a pass catcher at all. So we don't know what we're getting out of him there.
Right.
Just being an Army where they don't throw the ball. I'd really like to see what his ability is there in the pass game.
Right. Fair. No, I agree. I think that's fair statements. Abu Sama, sometimes in these Devy prospects said you will hold on to them as much as you can, right? To say, hey, I still believe. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I had Branson Robinson on my team for 2 years, and I had to drop him sadly. So there are some guys that happen like that. Abu Sama, I think, does have the skill set. He just needs to go out there and showcase it because the size is there, skill is there. It's just really go out there and show it, man. And Avery Johnson, those last 2 picks were really hard for me. Avery Johnson, great college quarterback. It's everything else that I'm like, I don't know if he's really the pro. So that's where I really question on that pick for it. But I think he has potential, and I understand why people would take him in their Devy drafts as well there.
Yeah, I would rather reach up for Sawyer Robertson right there. If we're comparing quarterbacks, I think he has a more NFL type of game than what Avery Johnson does.
Okay.
And then at wide receiver, I'd have to I'd have to have Micah Hudson in there, until he's just completely out of the picture. He's just got that type of talent.
Fair. And to be honest, I'll be 100%. I knew Micah Hudson was somewhere, but I also knew he was also out sometimes too. So I could argue Micah Hudson could push Abu Sama out, move up above. I would say right below Caleb. I would put him. I think Caleb could take it away just because we haven't seen it from Hudson yet quite. I need to see, he actually has it right and can actually go out there and do some good things for him as well. So that'll be the difference there for me there. But with our mocks, we're going to continue on with our breakouts. We gave you our quarterback, running back, and wide receivers. Now we're going to give you our tight ends, and we're going to give you some IDP. We have a couple IDP this time around. But in the tight ends, Tommy, I'll let you start off. Who's your tight end guy?
Really slept on tight end right here. Joe Royer out of Cincinnati. He was originally at Ohio State, then transferred to Cincinnati before the last season. Put up a pretty nice year last year for the Bearcats. 6'5" target, big guy. So he's got that big frame that you're looking for moving into the NFL. I think Joe Royer has a really nice game to him.
You brought up the size of 6'5". What I love about him is he's a solid blocker as well. I think when we're thinking about when you're looking at Devy prospects for tight ends specifically, don't look at their production. Look at what they're doing on the field. And some people may say, "Well, you want to see how they're producing," right? But in the NFL, it's not about what they're doing at college on a production level. It's about what they're doing on the field
Yeah.
because they want to see them block. When it comes to tight ends, you want a blocking tight end because they're going to see the field more. A lot of times, tight ends are great. We could talk about Harold Fannin. He may not see the field as much because Njoku's kind of same play style, but Njoku has developed as a good blocker as well.
Mhm.
So you see him on the field more. Harold Fannin will need to develop that. Isaiah Likely, great wide receiver at tight end. But guess what? Mark Andrews is a better blocker, so Mark Andrews is getting the field more. That's what happens.
Aronde Gaston out in LA. You
Yeah,
know, he's looking at being the tight end 3 there this year. So I
right.
mean, he has to prove himself as a blocker before he gets on the field.
And reason being, and you always say, why is that happening? Because we're not talking about just run blocking. A lot of times your tight ends will line up right outside their tackles and they have to block for the quarterback. And then a lot of times you'll notice sometimes that the tight end is the reason why a lot of the sacks happen at that pro level because they just don't have good blocking mechanics. What he does here in Joe is he has great blocking mechanics. He understands what he needs to do, but at the same time, he can line up out wide. And I'm not just saying just moving a couple feet off the line. He could line up as your wide receiver too and still get down the field. He has that capability. He has, I wouldn't say breakaway speed, but he has enough speed to go out there and beat the linebackers where they're going to have to put a safety on him. So now there's someone coming down underneath, and guess what? Now your wide receiver can go out there and eat as well. Mason Terry has a size and willingness to block to become a blocker.
Yeah,
for sure.
He does. And matter of fact, going into this past season, he was my tight end 1. He was my tight end 1 in Devy overall. I've liked Mason Taylor for a few years. I've always thought he had a, he's obviously got the Hall of Fame pedigree. Just look at his father. So I mean, he has the athletic ability. He's got good hands. He can block. He can run the routes. He can run whatever route you want him to. He's going to be doing it for a decade plus. Exactly.
Yeah. And with the tight ends too, with these guys, you want to be able to really show time to wait. You want to be patient with the tight ends because tight ends, with them being they're really a fundamental piece to an offense because if they're a good blocker and good wide receiver, you could really open up your offense a lot more in what they're doing. Maybe they're blocking with the first second off the snap, but then they're going out wide to make a play. So you want to really have that opportunity for them. That's where Joe Rory can come in. And you brought up Sorsby as well. Honestly, Rory could be the number 1 target for him there. So it's really a good opportunity for him. Nephew-in-law Zach Thomas. So the Hall of Fame, like you said, Hall of Fame pedigree is there. My tight end breakout here is going to be Baylor's Michael Trigg. This is a guy we've really been following all around the nation, it feels like.
Been waiting for it to happen for like 3 years now.
Yeah, it has been some off-the-field issues. I think it has been some injuries as well. This is another guy, though. The talent is there. You watch the film and what he has on film, and you're like, man, this could be a great tight end. He's going to an opportunity at Baylor where there's some big play opportunities missing there in the passing game, and really Trey can go out there and be the guy. I wouldn't say he has the blocking mechanics as Joe Royer does, but he does have the fundamentals to be a valued pass catching tight end, and those blockings can't come. They're going to be running the ball with Bryson Washington, so they're going to have the opportunity to have access to, hey, we need a blocker here as well. So that's where he could come in and actually do some big things for them to get to that next level also. So I really love that and the opportunities he can do. I'm big on Michael Trigg. I think you might have more beneficial in your C2C this year, but at the same time, if you have deep Devy rosters, which I'm in a few where it's like there are pretty deep Devy rosters, take the flyer on him because I think he can develop into something special at the NFL level as well.
Yeah, and there's some leagues that even require you to carry a tight end. So,
so it's beneficial to have that, which I think could be great for him. But as we mentioned, we have a special with the IDPs today. Today we're giving you 2 IDPs. Why don't we just do 1? But we figured let's give a little bit more to our defensive people that know defense wins championships. So Tommy, I'm gonna let you start off. Who's your first IDP?
My first IDP is David Bailey, edge rusher out of Texas Tech. He's not overly tall, long, 6'2", 6'3", but the guy can get off the edge. He's more of that kind of that outside linebacker type of edge. He's not, he's not the type that put a hand in the dirt, 3 downs, but he's going to be coming off the edge and getting to that quarterback.
Yeah, he's very versatile. I mean, that's a linebacker. He's so that can really step back if you want and go into the coverage as well. But he's really gonna use his length to kind of get around the edge. It really makes some big plays for them as well. He could be a nightmare for a quarterback as well, just on how explosive he can be outside and on the edge there to really go out there and make some big plays. He does have a good frame. I would say he does. And really, it comes down to he has the potential to be a day two prospect, in my opinion. Again, just because of his versatility, he has speed and explosiveness that you want outside the edge. But at the same time, he has the IQ and the awareness to be able to drop back and gain on the coverage. So if you need your outside linebacker, your edge rusher to drop back and cover the flats, he's the one that could do that. I wouldn't necessarily put him against a slot wide receiver, but if you're saying, hey, I need you to guard the tight end or the running back, be on man coverage, I think he can line up pretty well against them and still make some plays. He has good ball tracking ability and really understands where the ball's at all times to go out there and beat it. He might be one of the faster guys on the field when you think about Tech, as far as defensive prospects there as well. So good pick there.
Yeah, I actually think he could find his way into the first round. So watch out.
There you go. There you go. I mean, Texas. Again, Big 12 underrated class as far as prospects that I think a lot of people turn their eye away from them when they're thinking about other conferences. But Big 12 does have that talent, and David Bailey could have a boom year to really move himself up and have that kind of season there. Now, my first guy is going to be a full linebacker. That's Utah linebacker Landon Barton. This is a guy that Utah, I've seen a lot of Utah games. Utah has nice defensive schemes. We talk about guys that really go out there and they really just play with like a grittiness to their game. Landon Barton's no difference, right? He's going to be someone that's going to go out there and really be their main tackler, in my opinion. He's going to be excellent in ball tracking. He's going to be excellent in closing the gaps on the run, excellent run stopper. Coverage, he can do a little bit more. He has sideline to sideline speed, not the top of the top, if you will, when it comes to the conference, but I really think he's going to be beneficial to Utah and kind of being their field general on the defensive side. His IQ is there, his awareness is there, everything you want in a pure linebacker is there. Sure, he can fine-tune a couple things, but I really think he'll be a big focal point, and I think he'll lead Utah with tackling overall.
Yeah, Barton is probably the top defender to watch as far as going into the NFL draft from the Big 12 next year. Really good linebacker. He can get sideline to sideline. He can play up the middle. There's not a whole lot of holes in his game.
Right. He has the ability to go out there and do a bunch. Again, from Utah does produces defenders, and Barton's gonna be the next one up there to go out there and make some good production for him and just be a solid back. And when you think about IDP, a lot of times your linebackers get the most out of it, and Barton's the type that he can go out there and be the number one guy just leading it. And I'm talking about like 100 tackles plus, not just 80 anything. He can get 100, 120 plus. I would be like, I thought that's what it was, right? So I think he's gonna be a great prospect there. Who's your second IDP though?
My second is cornerback out of Colorado, DJ McKinney. Travis Hunter's gone. Colton Hood is gone. So the main corner there now, DJ McKinney. Long frame, 6'2", can really cover. He's got surprisingly good hands for a corner. Don't throw his direction. I mean, he's not going to be Travis Hunter, but he's not bad either.
Mm-hmm. No, I think I wouldn't. I don't know if Travis Hunter is a lockdown cornerback. He's a good cornerback, but I wouldn't say we won't be talking about like Revis Island, right? That he's going to just be that shutdown guy. We talk about McKinney. I think that's a possibility because of that size, where he's going to go out there and may not get the interceptions or anything like that we want, but he's definitely going to go out there and use his size to his ability. Well, quarterbacks are going to be scared to pass to him because he's going to be over the wide receivers. Now, he is pretty quick as well, so that's something you do like. Something I want to see a little bit more on him is his backpedaling. He does look good at backpedaling, but the way he turns, I want to see a little bit more fluidity in those turns there and his hip movement. But overall, I think he has great opportunity, great awareness as well when it comes to tracking the ball down and really making a play on the ball and not causing that penalty there as well.
Yeah, and you can't teach length, and he's got it.
Yeah. And that's something that's going to benefit as well. Again, I don't think you might not get the interceptions, and that's something, again, a stat. Don't watch these stats. And that's really, I feel like overall with the Big 12 is you don't want to go out there and box stat or just stats, watch the stats and just look at it. Oh, the production is not there because again, he's doing stuff on the field that will make him a good asset. Now, for an NFL team, which will then translate over to Devy that he's just seeing the field because when it comes to it, a lot of these Devy prospects, we just need them to see that opportunity on the field. But to get that opportunity, they need to do some things that aren't the things we're looking for as far as production, like getting the pass deflections. Some IDP leagues you do get points for that. Getting the blocking down, or really just closing down defenders just to see the field. Guess what? That's something where McKinney can come in and actually do some big things. Does have some good speed to him too.
And he also has he has return ability too. And in leagues that count return yardage, he could be a big asset.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like that as well. But I'm gonna keep it on the defensive backs here. I did another one, then I realized he transferred out. But I'm gonna go with Oklahoma State's new transfer, Mordecai McDaniel. This is a guy that's transferring over from Charlotte, I do believe. Can't play quarterback. He's probably gonna play their safety as Trey Rucker is gone, and then their other guy, if I'm not mistaken, Kendall Daniels is also at Oklahoma now. So now you have an open spot in the safety position. Mordecai McDaniels has some great size, great length to him. Really going to be a hard-hitting type of defensive back there. Whether he's playing corner or safety, think about it as a almost Harrison Waller. I want to say that's a guy that just came out of Wisconsin, right? Really a guy that has good zone coverage, solid speed, 6'1", just over 200, if not 200. But really a guy that has a knack for tackling as well. You did see as much as Charlotte, but I think he's going to step into that Oklahoma State role and really be their pure tackler. Trey Rucker and Kendall Daniels, were their leading tacklers last year. And now I think what we're going to see in Mordecai is really go out there and be a leading tackler as well. And I do think he might be like a 7-year senior or something. He's been in college football for some time now, 5 years, if anything. But it's going to be an opportunity for him to actually go out there and say, hey, here's mine. He was at Florida. They're going to play time, transferred over to Charlotte, got some playing time. Now he's going back into a Big 12, has the opportunity to go out there and showcase. And again, because they're missing their safeties, this is a big opportunity for him to go out there and showcase his all-around skill set and to be one of their top guys there as well. Any thoughts on Mordecai there?
Yeah, Oklahoma State gets into a lot of shootouts, so anybody playing on the back end there is going to have plenty of opportunity to make tackles.
Yeah, and that's going to be something that's going to benefit them as well. And also, they lost Ollie Gordon, right? So it'll be interesting to see what they do as a running back. Maybe they're going to lean more on their passing game this year than they have in the past because their pure runner isn't necessary there as well. That was our breakouts, though. When you talk about IDPs and some tight ends there, when it comes down to it, all these Devy prospects, excluding IDP, because IDP's a different niche, as we talked about earlier about Devy and stuff. Where is the best place that people can go there and see some value when we're talking about Devy values comparing them to the NFL? Do you have a place, Tommy?
Yeah, go over to Dynasty Trade Calculator. We've actually done a lot of we've done all the Devy inputting over there. So you can go over there, you can compare Devy assets to NFL assets. The values kind of blend together there. So you're able to say, well, what does Jeremiah Smith give me compared to like an AJ Brown or whatever. And you're able to go in there and see what type of trades turn out to be, somewhat equal. So you're able to go and make informed, kind of fair offers to people.
I'm trying to get in here. Give you 1 second here because I want to pull it up right now. We're talking about Dynasty Trade Calculator. One second here. Let's see if I have my information. We're going to go ahead and copy this. And I agree, but we're going to give you a scoop here right now on what it is. Just one moment here. Gotta put in the right password. I think that was it. Let's see here. Let's give them an example here live on the show here. One moment. All right. So, Tommy, just throw college football player.
Now let's go with Arch Manning.
Arch Manning. Oops. Why am I not picking him here? Hold on. Did I do that right? Is this it? Dynasty settings. So you have to go with Devy as well.
Since we're doing Big 12, let's go with Jordan Tyson.
Okay. So one thing you gotta do, I'm gonna put my phone here, is you're gonna to go. It's on Dynasty. You have to go to Devy to add those Devy guys, and then you'll add in the trade calculator. So you said Jordan Tyson.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm giving Jordan Tyson. He's at a value of 14.2. Tommy, either a pro player or another cause player. Let's see who you would have.
Pro player. Let's see what would kind of equal out to him. Let's try to go with someone like, what's Devontae Smith equal out to?
Devontae Smith, wide receivers. That is actually almost the same value because you have Jordan Tyson at 14.2, Devontae Smith at 16.0. So reason why, yeah, it might be in favor slightly of Devontae Smith, but that's going to equal out to a fair trade because you're getting almost similar value, right? So that's something where you can use a Dynasty trade calculator to go there and see, as you'll see on my thing.
Yeah.
You can see.
Yeah, I mean, you
as well.
You can go in and offer Jordan Tyson plus something and see if you can get Devontae Smith.
Let's just throw out, since we're doing Big 12, let's do GJ Giddens, former Big 12 guy, right?
Sure.
So you have him in there, and that goes 15.4 to 16.0. So as you're seeing, Jordan Tyson, DJ Giddens, a rookie, Devontae Smith. Now, obviously, when we do these, we have that value in there. Oh, Jamie just said, let's do this. We have this value in there so that you can really have an understanding on, all right, this is what I can do. Now, every league is different. You're not going to go trade someone that's a fan of Philly that has Devontae Smith for Jordan Tyson, DJ Giddens. Don't even offer that trade. They're probably not going to take it.
Right.
But at the same time, this is more for, I guess you could say, Devy, because when you look about Dynasty, you can do picks in here, but in Dynasty, chances are they're not looking at the Devy realm, right? So they're not doing it. But these Devy leagues, this is where you really want to go. But he says, let's look at Jeremiah Smith. Our guy, Jamie, said Jeremiah Smith. Who did he say? Amon-Ra?
Amon-Ra.
Jeremiah Smith right now, we have a value of 36.4. Amon-Ra's at 39. So you're getting very close. Now, I'm someone that I'm going to say I would trade Justin Jefferson for Jeremiah Smith in my Devy leagues. If someone has him, I have Justin Jefferson, I would go ahead and do that. I know a lot of people might be crazy or think I'm crazy for doing that, but I really think Jeremiah Smith is going to be on that trajectory of something. I know it's Ohio State. It's a lot different than what LSU wide receivers have done. Jeremiah Smith does look that great, and I still feel there's value to have there with Jefferson. So why not?
Yeah, and honestly, if I'm trading Justin Jefferson, I'd probably want Jeremiah Smith plus something else because you're going to want something to be able to be playable for this year and next year. So I mean, you're waiting 2 years on Jeremiah Smith.
So let's go ahead. Let's put it in the trade calculator here. Justin Jefferson, while we're here. Justin Jefferson is at 53. So let's say Jeremiah Smith.
Jeremiah Smith and Jordan Addison.
You said Jordan Addison?
Mm-hmm.
That is on the money, almost 53.5 to 53.1 there.
There you go.
So there you go. There's some money. I was going to say, this is just me looking at Devy, but I like that one. I mean, even if we added Devontae Smith there, that's 52.4 and 53.1 there alone. So again, this calculator is there for you to go out there and make these moves. If you're in Devy leagues, the Dynasty trade calculator is something you want. They do have IDP on there. We're focused on the Devy aspect again because there's not a lot of great places to go out there and really value those Devy players. It's really listening to us and giving you our values and what it is. Looking at consensus values wherever you do go. Dynasty trade calculator is there for you to go out there and say, hey, let's go out there and make this play happen. And let me see, here's how we value them. This is a great opportunity for you to go out there and make those moves. What's the trade site called? Dynasty Trade Calculator is what you're looking for. And there's something on there for y'all to go out there and do it, log into it and let us know how you think. Again, was it over 50? I think we have over 50 Devy prospects in there.
I think we have I think we have 75 to 100 of them in there actually.
There you go. And, we're adding people left and right. And as you know, this is what we have pre-season rankings. When the season goes, these rankings are going to fluctuate, at least their value. I wouldn't say necessarily rankings, maybe, but their value will fluctuate just based on production because we understand when it comes to the Devy realm, production is a big part. So if someone's having the off time, maybe they slide down one week, but then next week they have 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. And guess what? Now they just rise on that value. So,
and it's not just production; it's based on injury also. I mean, if somebody goes out there and tears an ACL or ruptures an Achilles, that's gonna especially rupture an Achilles, that's going to severely alter their value.
Right, 100%. There's tons of things, tons of moves to made out there. So it's going to be big for everyone to go out there and check it out. Dynasty Trade Calculator, big part for it. We're here to help y'all win, and that's something we thought, hey, instead of just listening to us, go check it out yourself. Go see what these players' values have and what they can do at that next level as well. Devy Degens, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. That's really all we have for this week's show. Until next time, I think next week, are we getting to the SEC? Is it that time?
SEC next week, yep.
Say the best for last, right? So next week,
SEC, yeah.
SEC breakouts.
my area there.
So we're gonna.
I apologize for the glare coming out of my glasses. I can't do anything about that. I got to be able to see tonight.
Jay, we appreciate you and all the other people that joined in today. We appreciate y'all watching. Tommy, get that glare fixed. No, I'm kidding. I didn't even know. So I was able to see your screen, so it's all good. But until next time, everyone, we are the Devy Degens. We appreciate y'all for watching, and we will see y'all next week when we talk about SEC breakouts. There.